Hello, dear humans. I am Jamie Dawn, your evolutionary, revolutionary astrologer, bringing you your celestial wisdom for a new moon in Capricorn week, January 2nd through the 9th of 2022. We have started a new calendar year, and I have a feeling many of us are exhaling, going, oh, thank God, 2021 is over. I know it's just a calendar year. In astrology, we look at the first day of spring, when the sun moves into Aries, as being that first zodiac year. But we'll work with the calendar that we all have in around the world at the moment. Okay, unless, well, I'm running off on a tangent already. Let me get right to it. We have new moon in Capricorn and also Mercury, our planet of communication, connection, learning, and transportation, how we deliver information, is moving into the sign of Aquarius on the same day. And it is in shadow because Mercury will retrograde in the month of January on the 14th. I'll talk about that in another video next week's. But for now, I'm going to put these pins on the map because this is a perfect new moon for what? Setting goals, New Year's resolutions, looking ahead and seeing what structures in our life are stable and which ones have cracks that maybe we need to fix. And that's perfect because we have Venus still retrograde, and Venus being our planet of love, beauty, harmony, values, finances, what we attract, how we give love, how we receive love. Call it the 5 love languages is all Venusian. And so with her being retrograde in the same sign as this new moon in Capricorn, and she made a canoodling with Pluto, we're probably doing some very deep and profound internal work around those Venusian themes. And so this new moon in Capricorn can have us looking at, how do I set goals for myself to feel better in my body? That's a structure, right? This is a form that houses our soul. It may also be that we're looking at our finances or the things that we value, our possessions, our children, our families, our friends, and saying, how do I become a better partner or a better friend? Or how do I make more money so that I can buy more things for my family or whatnot? Those may be some thoughts that we have. Many of us are looking ahead at relationships and saying, how can I attract that right person to me? Or maybe there's a relationship dynamic, especially when we're dealing with retrogrades, where people from the past come back and we have to revisit, does this relationship still serve? I will tell you, if there's an ex from the past that comes back, there's a reason. There's an X in front of their name. Be cautious. I'm not saying you shouldn't go back into the relationship, but definitely take your time as you vet it out. You make sure your values are lined up. And with Mercury and Aquarius, it's a perfect complement to be able to, maybe I'll use that example of X coming back, that you can now take an objective view to the relationship. And that if you decide to move forward, it may be done out of more practical facts than it is out of maybe that feeling of love. And that feeling, if you will, romance, can come down the road. The other thing may be that you're having to deal with a particular person or situation that you have to maybe give some opinions or some views. You're looking at this bigger picture. And with Mercury and Aquarius, it allows you to have that objective, very much of a feeling removed kind of energy. And it lets you have your views and opinions that are independent of anyone else. It also, Mercury and Aquarius, can give you these ahas. So do pay attention to your intuition. When a planet is retrograde, very often our intuition gets heightened. And so when you get these sudden downloads or you get these moments, these flashes of insights, check out the facts that go along with it. That's the Mercury and Aquarius. You don't want to go just on the intuitive hit by itself. You want to find out if it lines up with some of the other pieces of information, giving it a little bit of space and just letting certain things drop in. I will say that most likely this week is going to have a lot of conversations around maybe a new job, a relationship, and also where you can interact with others on a social scale in a way that lets you share your ideas, where you feel valued, if that makes sense. Also, if there was a difficult situation that came up over the last couple weeks, as Venus is retrograding through Capricorn and canoodling with Pluto, if there are some deeper stuff that has come up, it most likely has transformed your view around yourself, around what you find beautiful or valuable. And it may also be at a place where you have to surrender. Maybe you're not the one making the decision in a relationship or a financial matter. Maybe somebody else is doing it for you. And that's the part that you have no control. You can't make somebody want something. You can only present what you want, see if it lines up. And if it doesn't, you have to surrender and walk through that process. And very often, surrender involves grief. So allow yourself that space and grace to feel everything. Remember, emotions are just meant to be emoted. They're not necessarily meant to be acted upon. Definitely do not make major decisions during the height of emotions. Now, a new moon week tends to have a little bit more of a internal thing going on. However, the moon really is the theme this week because with the moon, it is in its fall in Capricorn. It does have a serious tone to it, and it wants to take a serious approach to the way in which it deals with things from the past and the way it nurtures itself. It may, you may find yourself feeling a little bit more serious about yourself or about those that are dependent on you. So it's things like that may show up. Well, the moon changes signs every 2.5 days, but the moon this week, it has the canoodling with the sun, making it a new moon in Capricorn. Well, then it moves to canoodle with Pluto within the next few hours after it makes the canoodle with the sun. Pluto, and this is on Monday. And so when the moon is canoodling with Pluto, emotions can be deep. They can also be, there's a lot of fear that can come up. There's a lot of stuff, the hidden stuff that we didn't even know. The past is coming up for us. So if you are waiting on, say, a call for a job, or you're waiting on someone from your past to make some sort of declaration or invite you into a conversation, this is a day that could do it. And it can stir up all these deeper emotions. I mean, imagine, let's use example. I know somebody who started dating someone recently, and their ex is coming back to them and making all these overtures, and then they're like, it just doesn't feel good, but I have to deal with it because it's right in front of me. As I say, better the devil you know than the one you don't. That's the moon canoodling Pluto on Monday. Tuesday, then the moon moves to canoodle with Sirius Saturn. Saturn being in Aquarius, well, and the moon in Aquarius can help with some of the objective views. So, Monday you may be emoting all over the place, and then Tuesday you can go, okay, what are the facts here? Let me do the Ben Franklin T chart, pros, cons, how do I make a decision around this? What do I really want and need? It's a great time if you're going to have an interview because you can just present the facts. And with the moon and Saturn there, you're going to look at it from a long-term perspective, and you're going to be ambitious about trying to achieve things. And so this could be a time on Tuesday where you schedule your major phone calls or your major decision as well. I know Mercury's in shadow. It makes things very difficult at times to get clear, and it's making a trine to the South Node. So unusual conversations with people from the past are coming back, sudden conversations or decisions that have to be made right. If you've had some misunderstandings and you need some clarifications, but this is an opportunity to actually heal some tension, maybe in friendships, or if you're in a lover status, maybe you're trying to get out of the friend zone into the lover zone, that sort of thing. So take your time, of course, when this is happening, but I have a feeling this next week is going to be all about the past. Then we have the moon making another move towards Jupiter, who is in Pisces now. Yay, Jupiter is ingressed into Pisces on the 29th of December. So we can feel a little more hopeful. We can feel a little bit more positive, sensitive. Remember, your empathic nature is probably going to be at an all-time high on Wednesday. And it's a great time to do any form of intuitive work, healing work, body work, anything along those lines, spiritual nature. anything that allows you to just feel like you can retreat even and have great compassion for yourself. It's a great self-care day as well. But remember, Jupiter's expansive, so it can expand your emotions, but it can also expand your intuition. So definitely plant some seeds, pull some cards, whatever it is that allows you to feel as though you're connecting with source. And then how can you offer it as a gift to others? And then the moon will canoodle with Neptune, who's also in Pisces, and that happens on Thursday. And so giving a little bit more of an illusion, sort of like a warm blanket being wrapped around you. If the beginning of the week has felt a little heavy and intense because of Pluto and Saturn there, that come second half of the week with Jupiter, Neptune canoodling with the moon, you should feel like you're being nurtured and sustained by things that just feel good. People come out of the woodwork. Maybe you just feel beautifully held by the community or by source itself. It's a great time to do some of that bigger spiritual work. It's a great time for artists to, maybe music will comfort you in that day, or maybe you want to write some poetry, or you get on stage and you want to express yourself in a beautiful way. This is also a time this week where you may talk about your feelings and you may share your feelings with others. It bodes well for relationships if you're trying to solidify them. Remember, where we're looking at our structures and what supports us with this new moon week. And so you may go back and say, okay, you know what? I care so much about this relationship and I want to take X subject matter seriously, but I want us to work together. How do we all feel good about it? And then how do we create this wonderful artistic expression of it? That's one way to do it. And working together with somebody that you care about, and it brings out all these wonderful emotions, can actually be the very bridge that helps you heal and that allows you to manifest out into the world something bigger and better. Venus will retrograde, combust the sun on Saturday the 8th. That means that it basically, the sun is consuming Venus, if you will. That on Saturday is a good time to retreat, to just take some time for self-care, or just spend time with the people that you know celebrate you, bring out the best in you. It may be a time where you just feel really withdrawn. So don't force yourself to get out if that's not what you want to do. At the same time, if you do feel energized, because the sun is energizing also with Venus, if you feel energized to get out and socialize and to achieve things, do some form of fun competition. I just took up skiing. Absolutely love it. I've been out as many days as I possibly can, even if I only get an hour of runs in. It's giving me practice and I'm starting to feel a little bit more comfortable with it. So who knows, maybe on the 8th, on that Saturday, I'm going to be out on the slopes trying to master the whole thing of stopping. Anybody who knows me, I'm an adrenaline junkie. So going fast is not a problem. It's slowing down and stopping. And I got to learn how to do that because safety is important. Capricorn energy, all about safety, because Capricorn can be a little nervous. It has a tendency to go into the fearful places because it wants to get things right or it doesn't want to fail. And so that also can be up for us this week because we have a lot of Capricorn influence, that we're looking at the places in our lives that scare us. Well, this is a perfect week to say, here's another piece for you. If you don't do New Year's resolutions or vision boards or anything like that, just ask yourself, where's my comfort zone? Where's my edge? And then how can I push up against it? Maybe even step outside of it. That will be a fun way to use this week. And I promise you, with the energy swirling around, with the moon making all of these contacts to these outer planets, and I have a feeling it's going to create enough tension inside of us, enough emotions. Just look at the news, look at, certain places that may be shutting down again, or certain places that are putting restrictions in. That can stir up a lot of stuff for people who like freedom, right? Anyways, just saying, use this week as a chance to evaluate, where's your comfort zone? And then maybe, what do you need to achieve to step out of that? Go for it. And give yourself permission to do one thing that maybe scares you. Calculated risk. It's certainly all about safety, but do one thing that might scare you just for the fun of it. All right, you guys. I really hope that this helps. Please like, subscribe, share, comment. Come find me at jamiedawn.com, and I look forward to working with you. Have such a good week.